Howdy everybody out there in YouTube land. Today, welcome back to the channel. We're going to be doing tutorial across the board. We've got 5 different things we want to show you, plus maybe some bonus stuff. But first, I've brought an orange for you and for me. We'll be doing some sponge ball magic, as well as a little bit of a wee. Beautiful. French there as well. Can't forget about springing into action. We will be talking about my ambitious card routine. Yes, every card in this deck is in fact, you'll see it go in. They are all, in fact, blank. Beautiful. So yeah, that's what we're going to talk about today. First playing cards right there. Boom. First thing I want to talk about is the wand twirl. This is a wand, and this is a twirl. So to get us started, basically you want to find the balancing point somewhere towards the center. Some wands will be different than others. About right there. Now you want to take one finger on one side and one finger on the other, and you're basically going to use your thumb as the focal point to go around, and now you've got the other part. So having your index finger on the back portion of the wand, imagine that there's a line down the center where the balance would be. Your middle finger is going to go on the other side of that line towards the front, and your thumb is going to be that point in which you rotate around like so. So now you have a decent wand twirl that you can practice. To add the next part onto it, that one's going to be a twirl. So basically, after you're done with this, or before you do that, you're holding it like a pencil. Then you're going to let go of everything, and you're going to hold it between your index and middle finger. You're going to go over, let it go, come back around. So up, twist, and down. Up, twist, and down. Hacha! So from a twist here, now we're starting to lose it here. Here we go. A twist and hacha. Up, over, and back around. You could do this, say having something in your hand. As you come up and over, you can drop this, and it will be gone. If you do it right, you'll have yourself, with timing, everything looks good. As you come, let's say you have this hand closed, you're going to go over the top, drop it, and now it's gone. It's not looking too good, is it? Well, that's not bad. That one bounced out. Either way, work with it, practice it. It's a good vanish. Hacha. So that's the wand, the magic wand. Let's talk about the pass-through effect with the wand. We're learning all about the magic today. Pass-through effect with the wand, you've got it in this hand. Simply give it a little bit of a swish hand flick. Pass the wand through the hand, and it has vanished. Of course, it's right here on the table. And now we're right back to where we started at the beginning, where we have brought 2 oranges today. The way that works, we're going to go right into the sponge ball magic here. Into one hand, a fake put, right? This is what it looks like when I do it for real. This is what it looks like when I do it for fake. I've retained it into this hand. Into the hand it goes for real. Into the hand it goes for fake. For real. For fake. Now, as I have it retained in this hand, you have it in finger palm. Go to the table, set it right on top of the other one, roll back, and pick them up together. Obviously, your spectator will believe it's over here, but that's okay. We've actually transferred it over to here. Beautiful SpongeBob. SpongeBob. Are you ready? Here we go. Sponge ball magic. Ha-cha, because it is, in fact, over here. So beautiful sponge ball magic for you. That's the finger palm. Don't forget it. Store it here. As well as a put to here. That's going to be great in the spectator's hand. They'll open that up, and yours will have jumped to their hand. Beautiful. Learn it well. That's 3 different things. The wand. It is gone, but of course it is here. Yeah. You could also do something like this, where if you have just one in your hand, let's go ahead and we're going to take this one over here. Or rather, not do that. Let's see if we can make it go through my head. There it is. There's nothing up there anyway. Okay, there's some SpongeBob magic for you. We're not going to cards just yet, because there's a lot to talk about with cards. We've got the French drop for you today. A subtlety that you should know and learn well is try not to do a transfer from one hand to the other like this. It's no good. You're going to want to learn how to bring the coin up to your fingertips with this hand. Because you want to put it on display, bring it down, grab it over to here, and give it a blow. But if you track it well, it'll jump from one hand to the other. Couple of subtleties there. It's all about the timing and the subtleties here. Display with one hand. As you reach across, you're simply going to let go with your thumb and let it fall into your hand. The fingertips are going to block it as you pretend to take it. Very important part here. Very important part. As you take it, you're going to move over to here. Wand effect. You're going to point with this hand to this hand as you're holding the coin and staring intently. It's gone. But don't wait too long, because then they'll suspect this hand. So what you want to do is you want to follow it and bring it back down. And immediately toss it back up. Another subtlety there. So you got 3 different subtleties. Subtlety 1 is really take that coin. That's taking the coin, right? Really taking that coin. Subtlety number 2 is maintaining eye contact with the coin. Then the vanish. Contact again. Comes back into reality. Immediately toss it back up to catch that light. And that's going to finish that effect. You could alternatively do something like this. And now you've got a beautiful little routine that you can practice, because the finger palm is the same for this as for this. And if you practice these routines, you're going to get better with one and better with the other. So let's break that down with the French drop. This is just a routine for you to practice to get better, and then you can add more and more things. French drop. Drop it into the hand. Intently look at it over here. Throw it into the air. Catch it. Like so. Beautiful. Some coin work for you. Don't worry. Don't worry. We're going to be doing more coin work as we go along. These tutorials will continue till Christmas. Videos like this, perhaps, or just singles. Who knows? So, the first thing you want to do is make sure that you do not do that, because they can see the deck. My recommendation would be do that, or turn the deck around so that they're seeing the back of the deck. You're going to start with the blank card on top. And the idea here is that if you like the blank card effect, go ahead and do that. If not, change the story and use a different card. It's fine. You can say, hey, this deck has all of my favorite card. For instance, let's say your favorite card is the ace. You could do the same thing. We're going to pick a random card at the center. They can tell you to stop whenever. It's going to be the ace. It doesn't matter. Okay? The ace is on top, right? Tell me when to stop. As I said, it doesn't matter. Any card you pick will be the ace. This time we're actually going to put it into the center. You're going to see it go into the deck. But again, it doesn't matter because all the cards are in fact aces. All of the cards are in fact aces. Now you're going to do something quite interesting because at this point, let's take a step back here. And we're going to teach you those moves. We're going to teach you every single thing that I just did to get us started. Blank face card. This is called the spring. This is just a nice little flourish to get somebody's attention. Hey, hello, I can do the spring. Of course, be careful not to flash the fact that the cards are actually there if you're going to go with the blank face card. Now, the slip force. Simply, you're just going to riffle down along the side with your thumb until they say stop. As you reach over and you place your hand into that gap, presumably to lift up, you're going to grab all of the top card here with all of your other fingers and simply slip and lift, leaving the top card. And done at speed, that's going to give the impression that they have selected from the center. Give it a practice. So I do that twice. You know, you could go 3 times, but you change it up on the third one. So that's why I say the first time you do it, you're showing them. Mind you, what you could do a shuffle if you wanted to. The deck can be shuffled beforehand with some false shuffles. I'm not going to teach that here today. I do have other videos for that, but we will get back into that later. But you're going to go with the slip force, and the first time you do it, it's basically just going to show what you're talking about. This deck, blank card. You could even turn over the top card and say, this deck is blank. That just shows the top card is blank. Even after you shuffle, that's great. Now you do a slip force and say, let's say we go somewhere in the middle, tell me when to stop. Great, it's a blank card. It doesn't matter. How about we have one other person, go ahead and say stop. Right there, great. That's going to be a blank card. Here, how about we just put it right into the center. You'll see it go in. I love the subtlety. I love the subtlety. So basically what you're doing here is you're placing it in. You're not lifting up enough to show any other card. You're just simply lifting up the front so they know that this is still the blank card. But what you're going to do is as you push it in, that justifies maintaining a break here. Okay, as you grab, this is kind of like the slip force, but instead of one card, you're going to just maintain all of the cards, leaving half the packet that was on the bottom, and you're just going to do a riffle pass. Okay, and that's going to allow you to control the blank card to the bottom. So let's go again. First, show that it's a blank card. Slip force once, depending on how many people you have in your group. Okay, let's do it one more time, just so you guys know for real. For real. Okay. Now, even if I were to place it into the center, even with a little bit of a mix-up, it doesn't matter. Ooh. Even with a mix-up, it does matter because you messed up. Just be careful. Okay, here, slip force once or twice depending on how many people are in the crowd. Great. Now you're going to take that and go face up. Doesn't matter. Now we're going to do a nice little turnover, but just be careful that the cards don't shoot. You just don't do a half turnover. Beautiful. Now you're going to grab the deck with the other hand and do the subtlety. Be careful not to go too far. If you have a deck that might be a little, a little worn in and it's going to go too far, then just do a partial one. Show them. It works great if you do this. If you flash a little bit like this, it's going to be okay, because this deck is actually like one of those plastics that as you heat it up, it has designs start to appear on it. It's pretty cool. What if we were to go ahead and take a look here? Blank card, right? We snap our fingers and we give it a little bit of a heat wave, and you're going to have the 7. Okay? If we rub it on our arm and we pick up a little bit more heat, it's going to turn into the 4. Disappears once again. And of course, if you let it sit too long, it will be blank again. Will be blank again. Yeah. Let's say you were to place it into the top, like so. We drop it, it's blank. Loses that heat, right? Of course. Now what if we were to place this into the pack face up? If we leave it in there for a little bit, you want to do a little bit of a cut, and then you'll have this card here. So let's back up, because we're going to go back into explaining that next part. That's like phase 2, right? The first part is phase 1, the part where you're establishing that the deck is blank. Phase 2 is when you're showing them that it can go from hot to cold, and you're utilizing the blank card with the face cards. There is a part where I did mess up, where you put this in like this. Once again, you do the subtlety, but then you say, obviously, since we've been holding on to the deck, you're showing them that there's a blank face card. Now you're going into more of a sleight of hand, routine here, because you're showing them that you have a blank card, so they get it. You're not fooling anybody here, but that's not the point at this point. If they didn't guess you had a blank face card, now you're showing them the deck, but now you're going to be controlling that card. And basically where that's going to come into play, for instance, let's see if I can remember how that goes. So basically you have it on the bottom, you do a double retention, which means you cut half the deck, then you're going to grab 3 cards from the bottom. You can do it slowly, but try to make it not look like you're grabbing 3 cards. Hold them together in a double, retention of a double, but it's actually going to be a triple. And what really works nice here is that after making the first cut, you've separated the bottom. You can say I'm pulling a random card from the center. Of course, it is still blank, but because this deck has this really nice property where as it heats up, it starts to change. You're basically going to now do a double, but instead of turning over 2, you're just getting a break under the second one. You're going to use the first one just to kind of flourish, turn that over a little bit real slow to show that it's changed. You're going to rub it on your arm, and now this is something that I've been doing for quite a while now, actually, is it's the double retention with an arm turnover. You can do it in the air, but if you do it in the air, it's going to cool off, and you're going to want the blank face card. In this case, I'm just using my arm to get a little bit more heat so that we can change it into a different card. Makes sense, right? Now you're going to use your hand, and you're going to magically turn over the card. Yeah, just like that. Of course, since we did that, it's going to lose a little bit of heat, right? Now this is the part where you put it into the pack. Oh, let's go back and explain the Erd and Ace, right? Because we kind of just glossed over that. So basically, here's how that's going to look. Erd and Ace, subtlety. Start with bent fingers. Contact the top. push off like so, but keep your finger here to mimic the fact that you still have the deck there. You're going to push off until you can get contact with your palm. So basically it's a push-pull motion. As this comes off the top, you're going to grab the bottom and extend. So now you've done that kind of at the same time. As it clears, feel the click. Now you're going to bring it back, and at the same time you're going to square everything up. And now doing it this way basically means that one of the face-down cards, meaning the card you just had that you did the turnover with, is now going to be in front of that card, so you've magically turned it over. Now you're going to go with a strike triple, not a double. It's going to be a triple turnover to the blank face card, because we kind of left it alone for a little bit, so it lost its heat. Now this is where you do the subtlety. It doesn't matter if they see the deck. Before you did it more like this. This time you're going to do it up like this and say, so we have the blank face card, or rather, that card is now blank because it's sticking out of the deck, but the rest of the cards have warmed up enough that they have appeared. And that's going to justify you for this nice little top control from Chris Ramsey, right? So basically, as you show the deck like this, you're going to square up the deck, and you're going to grab the top packet above that card, and you're going to slip it underneath the card like so. Try not to do the bend. I've done that a couple of times, and it just doesn't look good because it kind of gives it away a little bit. You're going to get that packet underneath that card from here, and then as you go down, there's this moment in the middle where you get this really nice switch over. Just be careful, because sometimes some of the bottom cards can stick out. That's fine, because now you can either have them push that in, which is really convincing, and you're going to do another Chris Ramsey move, which is to drop it from up here. Now, out of frame, this is going to look like this, and that's going to turn over the blank face card. Okay, and why do we want to do that? Well, because as it comes down, it loses the heat, right? Because the top card was a different card. Now, you've controlled that card, but you're actually going to put it in face up this time. Now, as you put it in face up, you're actually going to do a pass. Okay, look at that. That's pretty smooth. But you don't want to actually pass the top card. You actually, that was that was better than I expected. But basically, you want to be able to pass any number of cards to the top almost without them noticing, because as you come through the cards, you want to have this card that's still face up from that turnover thing that we did. You want that card to come back, but you don't want it to come back right at the top. See what we did? We kind of switched places a little bit. But you don't want to expose the blank face card. You want to find this card. And then what's nice about that is, while they're looking at that, if you've controlled this to the top, you could technically at this point spread out the cards and expose the rest of the deck without exposing that blank face card, and now you can go about your routine with a full deck, presumably. And yeah, and then you can always make a callback to this card. What I've done in the past is I go from ambitious card, and then this card will show up in a different deck, but I don't recommend that for this particular trick. I only did that. One, I did it initially because I thought it'd be cool using that particular deck for that theme. And then two, the second time I did it because I did it the first time. But I don't actually recommend a card to deck or pocket for this because it's not a transposition type effect. This is all contained in here. A nice little killer thing that you can do here is, if you want to reset the blank card, then you could, as long as you know where you controlled that card to, because you could presumably control it like I did second to the top, by simply, this card is going to always be here once you do the control. Then when you put this into here, all you have to do is, when you push it in, you just got to leaf off one other card. And then just do your control. That's going to bring this one second to the top. You can go through the cards, without exposing that one, and show that that card is now switched places. Boom. That's the card, right? It's warmed up. That's what it was before. That's why wouldn't it be the same card now? So it's warmed back up. Now you could do something. You can go even further. It's got 3 phases to it. The second phase is proving that the deck can warm up and cool off, changing this and changing that. And then the third phase is this switch, which is good, but you could do more. And I'll leave that up to your interpretation. I haven't quite got there yet as far as what that third phase entails. But this is a really nice moment where the rest of the deck is fine. You've controlled the blank card second to the top. You've got this in the middle where that card just was. Again, I'll show you. Just because I love this subtlety, right? So after you've gotten to here, you're going to place this into the center. And then you want to make sure that as you get that into the center, you maintain a break over the card on top. So as you push it in, and now when you spread back out through the cards, the one that's in the middle is a different card. Tell me if that's good or not. Now you can take that out however you want to do it. You could potentially do, let's say you do something like this. You could then do a turnover pass, which is then going to allow you to spread through the cards again face up, showing all the cards except for the one card that's in the middle, the blank face card. Of course, if you let them sit too long, after you mess with the deck a little bit one way or the other way, it's going to stop doing that spread. But you could theoretically bring it back to the top, and then it's going to need one of those probably. And just do a basic spread if you want to do something like that. Either way, that's not a bad finish. So let's try that again to see if you enjoy that effect. So let's start over from the beginning and let's see how it looks with that ending added in there. I don't know how strong that is for you. Okay, so basically I like using this deck because all the cards are blank. You can tell me whenever you want me to stop right there. That sounds good. Very nice. How about we have one other person tell me when to stop? Don't mess up when you're doing the trick. That's fine. There it is. Let's go ahead and put that right in about the center of the deck right there. Whew. Doesn't matter where we put it because all the cards are in fact blank. Oh, you can see some of them are starting to actually warm up because the deck actually has the special properties like that plastic that when it warms up it changes color. So there's the blank card, but because we've been messing with it, it's actually going to change to the 8 of clubs. It will actually change more if you, now it's the 6 of spades. Now if we magically turn over the card, it will of course become blank again. Just happens that way. Of course, as you can see, it is blank, but all the other cards are now heated up, which is really nice. In it goes. Of course, if you drop the cards from up here, the top card will now be blank as well because it lost the heat. But if you let it sit in the deck for a little bit, you'll actually get, look at that, it's actually changed. Yeah, it's actually changed. Yeah, let's not do this. I think that looks fine, but I think that it would look better if we actually went through the cards like this, got our break. You can clearly see that all of the cards are heated up. Except for the one card in the center, which is just losing all of its heat. Blink. Not bad. I think that looks pretty nice. A couple of mistakes throughout there that we need to work on. Now that could be a problem. So I wonder why that happened. Let's take a look here. Let's go back to when this is here. Troubleshooting, right? This is going to go into the center, but when you do it, you're going to maintain a break. It doesn't have to be exactly the top card, but you're just going to separate it like this, so that when you put that in there, you can have your break for your pass. Now, it's got to be a pretty clean pass, which is going to be difficult here, but that's just going to control the blink card second from the top, and you can brick pass over to hide that and get to the center, which is going to be their card. Now, like I said, this looks good here, which is fine as long as you maintain a break showing the rest of the cards, so that you can do a turnover to show all of the cards. But keep in mind that the reason why that's happening, this is on the top now, which is fine, because as we come through here, we don't actually have to spread all the way to the top to show that that card's like that. But if we did, here's what I would do. So let's get to that blank face card right there. As we push that up, we want to be careful not to flash that. But here's what I'd recommend. This card's going to come to the top. You can see that. You could then even execute a turnover of that card under cover of the deck. So you could have it in your, cop it in your hand, or just grab it under the deck and just rotate it over. So let's see, if this is coming from here, is it better to do it beforehand? I'd get the pinky break, then I would grab this, put it on top, execute the turnover, possibly, I don't know. Maybe just leave it. Let's see how it looks if we just leave it. And if we do our spread, that's going to be okay. Now, of course, if we turn this over, they're going to see that. So after we've closed this back up, we can either get rid of this card altogether, and then now leave the deck like this. But I think executing it, actually, you know what might actually work a little bit better? Let's see about this. So let's say we take this card off. Now we're just going to turn the deck over. Okay? So I think that would work out as well. So you're back to here. You're pulling this out, and now you're just finalizing. The trick is over. It doesn't matter. You're just going to take this out. Hold the cards out here so that they can go blank. However you want to do it, as long as the deck will cooperate with you enough to do just a little thing here like that to show that they are blank. Now as you fold off, you're simply going to toss the blank card to the table, doing your pinky break on the bottom card, and then you're simply going to turn over the deck. Under cover of the deck, everything is hidden. Spread out the cards. You have your blank face cards separate from the deck. Beautiful. And there's a completed, ambitious card routine with a blank card that you could finesse if you wanted to change out a couple of things to do with regular cards. Color changes and whatnot. Everything included. And there you have it. So we did a lot today. A lot. And I hope you had a very happy holiday. We got more holidays coming up. We did sponge balls, we did coin, we did wand, we did cards. This was an extensive video for you. Hope you enjoyed. I hope this is something that you can utilize, and we will continue to grow together. And don't forget, stay positive, stay active, and stay awesome, and take some breaks. It's okay to take breaks. You gotta recharge the battery once in a while. Go ahead and click right over here. It's going to be right there somewhere. And then the other one's going to be down there for the video. Subscribe over here, video over here. Not this guy. That guy up there. The bigger guy. That's it. See you later.